US imposed punitive tariffs over New Delhi's Russian oil imports. Putin's visit was announced during National Security Advisor Ajit Doval's visit to Moscow in August. The dates, however, had not been finalized at that time. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Putin will later met in China during the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit and held an hour-long discussion over there. So clearly we can see that these are the dates which have now been announced. President Vladimir Putin will be in India on December 4th and 5th. Joining us on the broadcast is my colleague Brian Thomas with more details on this story. Brian, these dates have finally been released. We are expecting Vladimir Putin in India on December 4th and 5th.
Well, yes, clearly as of now, Russian President Vladimir Putin will be visiting India on December 4th and 5th, according to what Kremlin even cited. Now, this trip also comes at the invitation of Prime Minister at the time when New Delhi and Moscow have drawn closer following US punitive tariffs on Indian purchases of Russian oil. And clearly, Putin's visit was also first indicated during NSA Ajit Doval's trip to Moscow in August, like you mentioned. Though the dates were not confirmed then, but now the Prime Minister and both Putin later met on the sidelines of the SCO summit in China, where even the two leaders held an hour-long conversation in Putin's limousine. But now, yes, clearly as of now, we're getting to know that the dates have been finalized of 4th and 5th, where the two leaders will be meeting in India itself, yes.
Obviously, Brian, and this is a very high stakes meet that we are going to see in December. Both the countries are looking to expand their ties in the fields of trade, in the fields of defense as well, Brian.
Well, yes, clearly there will be an array of conversations that will be happening between the two nations. You talk about defense, you talk about infrastructure, you talk about energy. So clearly this is going to be a very pivotal meeting between the two nations. And right now also when both Moscow and India coming closer in their allies itself. So clearly this is going to be a very important visit by Vladimir Putin that will happen in December 4th and 5th, yes.
Absolutely. Brian, please do stay on with us. In fact, because of this entire meet that had actually, we did not know the dates surrounding this meet. Now we are obviously getting clear dates. So also joining us on the broadcast is Ambassador KP Fabian, a former diplomat. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Very good afternoon to you. We were just talking about this date, which has been released regarding Vladimir Putin's visit to India, sir, December 4th and 5th, a very historic summit. We will be, in fact, looking at this various fields where India and Russia might look to collaborate, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon. It is indeed an important visit, important for India, for Russia and for the rest of the world, because geopolitics is changing and India has decided to strengthen and deepen its relations with Russia for very good reasons, and that is going to happen, and there will be a lot of emphasis on defense cooperation and also on economic cooperation and trade. And there may be, there will be, the two countries will be looking at, as I said earlier, the changing geopolitics and how best they can cooperate. And Putin on his part will also push RIC, Russia, India, China. Well, let's just see how India will respond to it.
Absolutely, Ambassador, and this is a very important meeting because this comes right after those punitive tariffs that were put on India by the US for, in fact, importing Russian oil. So this forms a very important message as well from India and Russia to the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I spoke about the changing geopolitical context.
Absolutely, sir. And when we talk, you were also talking about, collaboration in the defense field. So when we look at that after Operation Sindoor, obviously we are looking at a lot of additional squadrons of the Russian-made missile defense systems as well, sir.
Yes, and there could also be more talk about S-400s.
All right, sir. Please do stay on with us. We, in fact, want to introduce this bit of information to the viewers. The Ministry of External Affairs has now confirmed the dates of the Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India. In a release, the MEA stated that at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, will pay a state visit to India from December 4 to December 5th, 2025 for the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. Moreover, the Ministry of External Affairs further stated that during the visit, President Putin will hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and President Murmu will also receive President Putin and host a banquet in his honor. Ambassador, we were just speaking about how defense cooperation will in fact be strengthened. Apart from, sir, the missile defense system, when we look at India-Russia ties per se, and in a world which is geopolitically, currently very cracked, we can say, because there are various wars that are going on, and this, bonhomie that we have, India and Russia, it comes out as very strong and important during tough times, sir.
Yes, in fact, President Putin will sort of explain to Prime Minister Modi about what is happening in regard to Ukraine and how Russia looks at a possible end to that war.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, also joining us on the broadcast is Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, former diplomat. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Ambassador Gupta, this is coming at a historic, this will be a very historic meet between our Prime Minister and the President of Russia. The dates have finally been announced, and we are looking at a slew of cooperation in a slew of fields, in fact from defense to trade, but most importantly this meet will send out a good message to the world, sir.
Yes, you are absolutely right. This visit is coming at a very important political juncture because India has been under tremendous pressure from the USA to tone down or dial down its relationship with Russia. Now we have been proved again and again right that our relationship with Russia is extremely useful. It is very handy. It's very important for both countries, and Russia has never sort of created any problems for us. Russia has been very mindful of our concerns, our interests, and Russia has always treated India in a very special manner, special privileged partner, as they say. And whether it is a question of energy, or it's a question of defense supplies, or it's a question of commercial exchanges and so on, Russia has always tried its best to accommodate India's concerns. And while we have come under pressure from the Americans to reduce our purchase of crude oil and gas, LNG from Russia, we have made it clear that we will not abandon our relationship, with Russia, because simultaneously we are going to increase our commercial exchanges. We are going to buy many more defense equipment. We are going to set up our nuclear, power plants with help of Russia. So this is a relationship which will continue to be at the prime place in our bilateral relations. And President Putin's visit at this juncture only confirms that India will continue to give very high value, very high position to our relationship with Russia.
All right. Also joining us on the broadcast is Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, former diplomat. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Ambassador Sachdev, we were just looking at the dates that have been announced for the India-Russia summit. We will see Putin meeting our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Apart from giving out this message or this power play that is coming into the picture over here, this is going to send a good message across the world, sir, because India is showing everyone that it is making its own choices no matter how much pressure the West is going to put on us.
I think you're very right. I would like to add to it that the visit itself at this critical juncture, with so much is happening on Russia-Ukraine negotiations, shows that India is regarded in Moscow as of primordial importance as a friend, and the relationship needs being reset after in the post-war situation, and as well as in case the sanctions continue on Russia by the United States. All that goes on to show that it's not only India which is committed to this bilateral relationship, but the converse is also true. Russia prioritizes its ties with India and wants to build it up in whatever happens on the Ukraine scenario or the sanctions. And that is something extremely important, because the two countries have collaborated for past 50 years on various situations, and right now the reset could include insulating this relationship from vicissitudes of international politics in the years to come.
Absolutely, sir, and I think that is a very important point that India will be looking forward to discuss with Russia. But apart from that, sir, when we are looking at our defense sector, which is the highlight, which seems to be the highlight of this entire meet that is going to take place in December, when we look at the defense sector, all right, I believe Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, is also joining us on the broadcast. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We were just discussing about how important this visit will be per se, firstly for showcasing that India will not bow down to Western pressures, and secondly for our defense sector, sir, because we are looking, when we are looking at two hostile neighbors, Pakistan and China, we are looking at defense products from Russia, which have actually saved us and have proved worthwhile during Operation Sindoor as well, sir.
Well, the fact of the matter is Russia is half of Europe, half of Asia. It's a huge country. It's got several resources, including rare earth, and I do believe that the technical field also, a lot of avenues are there for co-production and cooperation. So they go beyond defense, they go to a civilian sector as well. And I think, as you correctly said, this visit by President Putin, he could not come to Brazil, he could not come to South Africa, but he is very welcome in India. And nothing is going to happen to India. He will be given the welcome that we give an honored guest. And the point of the matter is that where Russian military equipment is concerned, the fact is that when we get this equipment, there are no strings attached. Equipment from other sources, suddenly you may have some sanctions or whatever, or some pause or some go-slow. In the case of Russia, we have found Russia to be a very reliable partner. So I think this visit is a very important visit, and I would like to demonstrate Prime Minister Modi's commitment to the fact that India is a major power, a great power, and India will take its own decisions. In fact, the reality is there are four great powers: Russia, India, China, and the United States. And India is the one that leads. And thanks to the high rate of growth, we have now become the third largest economy in the world in GDP terms, and will soon become that in dollar terms as well. Yes, I think it's a very important visit, and the welcome, the red carpet is rolled out for President Putin, and he will feel very much at home in his country that he also regards very highly, and talking to a leader who I think he regards very, very highly. So on the whole, it's a very welcome visit. It's a very welcome visit from different points of view, and I think one can broaden our cooperation beyond defense to other fields as well, because defense is one thing, but there are so many other fields to be explored, and I think that this will be an opportunity to discuss with other fields, and I'm sure he's bringing with him a high-level delegation representing all these groups, and that we are there in a similar way, a high-level individuals, meeting them and finalizing the points for future collaboration between the Russian Federation and the Union of India. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think this summit is going to prove that this bond between India and Russia is not going to weaken, it's only going to grow stronger. In fact, Group Captain UK Devnath, defense expert, is also joining us on the broadcast. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We were just trying to decode this visit that is going to happen on December 4th and 5th by the Russian President Vladimir Putin. And when we talk about defense cooperation, because that will be a major chunk of the discussion that the two countries will be talking about, Russia remains our primary military supplier. It's providing us air defense systems, it's providing us submarines, it's providing us fighter jets as well. So when we look at that sector and we look at this meeting, how significant is this, sir? Providing us fighter jets as well. So when we look at that sector and we look at this meeting, how significant? All right, I believe there is some.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
All right, you can hear me now, sir.
Yeah, a very important visit. Russia and India have been strategic partners for decades. In fact, since independence days, when we used to have Panchvarshi Yojanas, that time itself Russia started by giving us steel plants. We shouldn't forget that immediately after 1962 war, it was Russia which came forward and gave us MiG-21 fighter aircraft so that Indian Air Force could be strengthened. Thereafter, even now, if you see profile of Indian Armed Forces, whether it is our Navy or Army or Air Force, our equipment profile is still dominated by Russian weapon systems. BrahMos missile, BrahMos cruise missile is a classic example of close cooperation between India and Russia. At present, we are manufacturing Sukhoi 30 in HAL under a transfer of technology mission. Good thing is that probably very soon, when India needs a 5th generation fighter aircraft, maybe we will prefer Sukhoi 57. Russia has already said that it will give us 100% transfer of technology for Sukhoi 57 to be manufactured by HAL in India. When President Putin is here, one of the great milestones will be that India is likely to propose and accept delivery of 5 more squadrons of S-400. Viewers have seen excellent performance of S-400 during Operation Sindoor, when one of our S-400 missiles shot down a Pakistan electronic warfare aircraft from a distance of 314 km deep inside Pakistan. S-400 we have already received 3 squadrons. 2 more squadrons are coming in this year. as per the previous contract. And now, in case India goes ahead with 5 more squadrons of S-400, that will add up to 10 total squadrons of S-400. So that means in coming decades, skies of India will depend upon for air defense on S-400 and Sukhoi 30. We have more than 270 Sukhoi 30s flying around in Indian Air Force as of now. So this visit by President Putin will put all the global countries on alert mode. America is
Absolutely.
watching this visit very
Absolutely,
carefully.
sir. I think that's a very pertinent point that you have raised. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast.